Welcome to math class. We are continuing on in the MathWorks 10 workbook in Chapter 2. Today we are doing 2.2, alternative ways to earn money, or as I like to call it, hustlers math. Not everyone necessarily wants to get a job where they're given a wage and they have to show up every day and they got a boss they got to listen to and all that kind of stuff. So if you've got your own business or you start a small business or you're doing whatever you got to do to hustle and make money, sometimes you have to get a little bit creative about how you figure out where your money's coming from. So open up to page 87. We're going to do question number 1 together. There's another example there on the page you can look through on your own, but we're going to take a look at Thomasina. So Thomasina makes sweaters. She sells them in her craft shop. She's been hired to knit sweaters for a particular team. She charges $75.50 for a large sweater and $69.75 for a medium. It makes sense because sweaters are different sizes. You need a little bit more wool for big ones, you need a little bit less wool for the other ones. So what we need to do is figure out how many of each of these, how much she's going to earn based off of how much of each of those she actually winds up making. So I'm going to pull this down and get it out of the way. So if we read on the question, we know that she knits 3 large sweaters and 2 of the medium sweaters. So we have to take a look at what mathematical equation we're going to be doing in order to actually solve this. What we're going to be doing, since we need to know we know how many sweaters we have, we need to multiply it by the amount we're charging, and we get a total there. So we get $226.50. And underneath this one, we wind up with $139.50. Now, since she's just going to want them to cut 1 check instead of 2, she's going to add those together, and we are left with a final answer of $366 even. So when we're solving questions like this, all we're doing is we're finding our price. We're going to multiply it by the number that we're selling to get a total. Even if we have 2 different price objects, all we're doing is figuring out what that price is for the total number of objects, and then we can combine those together when we get to the end. So go ahead and try 2 and 3 on page 88 on your own. We're going to move on to page 89. Question 4. So Jorge is an auto dealer. So auto detailer. So every time someone comes in and gets their car worked on, they charge the same. So if each job costs the same amount, and he sees that he got a big old check for $3,048 after 12 jobs, then he wants to know how much was his cost per job, so he can figure out whether or not he's being efficient with his business and that kind of thing. This is the complete opposite of the previous question. For that one, we took our price per unit, we multiplied it by the number of units we had in order to find our total. We know our total in this question, so now we're going to be going backwards with the same method. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So we know that if he works 12 jobs and that's his total, he gets a total of $254 per job. Very easy. You're just looking for your total, and you're going to divide it by the number of items, jobs, etc., whatever it is. Simple division. That one should be easy. You can even do these on your calculator. Should be able to fly through them. So we're going to quickly move on to page 92. All the way up here. Question number 10. Oh, sorry, no we're not. That's too far. We want page 90, question 7. I did not do a very good job of setting up my smart notebook today. Page 90, question 7. We're talking about a fellow named Peter who's working on commission. Important skill to know is how to work if you're getting commission. So Peter works as Sporting Goods Store and he earns 12% commission, which means that every time someone buys something from Peter, he actually gets 12% of the ticket price, which in this case is $785.95. So we need to know how much of a percentage 12% is going to be. He wants to know if he sells this bike, how much cash is he going to see on his paycheck for that particular bike. So the first thing we're actually going to do is we want to convert this into a decimal, right? So we divide it by 100 and we wind up with 0.12. Okay. We're going to multiply that by our price. And we're going to figure out that he makes 94 bucks and change every time he sells one of those bikes. Question 8 and 9 are both the same. You're converting your commission to a decimal and then you're going to multiply it by the price or the total of whatever is being sold. Even if, let's say that Peter had sold multiple bikes, all we'd have to do is figure out what the total amount of bikes he sold was, and then we still do the same steps and find out what our answer was. So we're going to move on now to question 10 on page 94. What we're doing is basically the opposite of again. So we're learning if I see a commission check for $6.86, I need to double check and make sure that that is the same percentage that I was promised. Because sometimes there are unscrupulous bosses out there who might try and take some of your cash. So we're looking at Freddie. So Freddie earned $6.86 when he sold whatever it was for $95.95. Okay. You'll notice here we have $2 What we're missing is a percentage. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what that percentage is. This is the exact same method that we use to figure out our marks for all our tests, right? You put your mark over the total, you divide 20 divided by, brain fire. You punch it into your calculators as is, and you're going to get 0.5, multiply by 100, and you get 50%. We're going to use that same process to figure out exactly how much of a percentage of commission I'm working. So I'm going to go 686 divided by 95.95 equals 0.7, which I multiply by 100, and I get 7%. So go ahead and try 11 and 12 on your own. Those ones are the exact same method that we just used for that question. And we're going to move on to our last example, page 94. Oops, went too far. Question 13. So this one is combining a few different steps, but none of it is things that we have not done before. We're just adding a few more steps along the way. So we're talking about Marcel, who runs a construction company, I think. Oh, looks like he's laying concrete, sorry. So he needs to figure out how much his cost is, and then he's going to add some to make sure that he actually can go home and pay his bills, not just pay his employees. There's a lot of words going on here. What we need to do is look at the numbers that are important. 20%. And we know that he wants to add 20% to his final cost, which makes this markup, which is a skill that we've already covered. So we'll go back and we'll be using that a little bit. We know that he needs 3 cubic yards of concrete at $100 per yard. And we know that he's getting 3 yards cubed, actually. Oop, that's not nice. He's actually getting 3 cubic yards. Don't worry, don't overthink the question. 3 cubic yards is just 3 yards. That's just how they measure it in volume. He's also going to be paying 2 employees, and he's going to be paying them $12.45 an hour for 4 hours. So what we actually have here is we have 3 different equations going on, and we have to do them in a particular, well, in a semi-particular order. Markup is what we're going to have to do last. We figure out all our costs, and then we do our markup after that. So what I'm going to start with is our cubic yards. I know that I have $100 per yard, per 1 yard, which equals X number of dollars over 3 yards. We've done this before. I cross multiply, I divide. X equals $300. I'm going to do my employees next. So I'm going to scroll down, give myself a little bit of space. And if I stop bumping the screen, get rid of, oh, bounces. I've never seen it do that before. It's amazing what things wind up being interesting when you're doing math class. So we are looking at Marcel still here. So we're doing his employees. So he has 2 employees, and he's paying them $12.45 for 4 hours. We know that we can actually save ourselves some steps. We know that we're going to have to multiply the price and the number of hours times 2 because we've got 2 fellows there. So we're actually going to just turn this into one big old multiplication equation. 2 employees times $12.45 an hour for 4 hours of work gives us a total of $99.60. We are going to add these 2 numbers together. Very simple and very easy. We're going to get $399.60, which now we need to add our mark up to. We know that our markup was 20%, so I'm going to convert 20% to a decimal. Divided by 100, I get 0.2. I'm going to multiply that by $399.60, and I wind up with a $79.92. This is not your final answer for markup. This is how much 20% of your cost is. We also need to add this to our $399.60. We wind up with a total of $479.52. Not impossible. We just have to make sure we follow all our steps. So go ahead and try 14 and 15 on your own, and then we're going to see you in class tomorrow, and we'll work on our next assignment. Actually, homework check, not quite assignment yet. See you soon.